A couple of days ago, I was lucky enough to read The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, an eye-opening novel. Did you know that Paulo Coelho wrote it in just 2 weeks? He said that the book was already in his soul. The book is relatively short, 200 pages, but there are life lessons that you cannot find anywhere else within its chapters. The novel follows the journey of a shepherd named Santiago who dreams of finding treasure in the pyramids of Egypt. A fortune teller interprets this dream as prophecy, and Santiago decides to embark on a journey to Egypt in hopes of discovering the treasure. However, the optimistic shepherd has to face several obstacles before he gets lucky. In doing so, he learns important life lessons along with the readers. Today, I will summarize the top 10 lessons you can learn from dear old Santiago's journey. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Be your person. We learn this lesson right in the beginning. Santiago is not a dumb shepherd. He didn't decide to take a trip to Egypt on a whim. Instead, he thought it over. What made him go through with it, you wonder? Well, it's the words of an old man who claimed to be the king of Salem that motivated him to take the leap. His exact words were, "In the long run, what people think about shepherds and bakers becomes more critical for them than their legends." His words made Santiago think of himself as more than a shepherd and pushed him to pursue his dreams. He decided that he should not let what others say to stop him from moving forward. We let others' opinions dominate over our own and stop us from going after our passions. However, our little shepherd teaches us that we are so much more than that. We should find ourselves and do what we want. Learn to be grateful. Next up, Santiago teaches us to practice gratefulness. In everyday hustle bustle, most people grow unhappy with their lives and express dissatisfaction, forgetting that they actually have a lot to be thankful for. It's not like you have to win an award to be thankful. According to Santiago, people can appreciate simple things like getting to experience the sunrise each day. Such an outlook on life goes a long way in making one overall happy and satisfied. And that's precisely what we see Santiago do throughout the novel. He faces many hurdles throughout his journey, but he finds a silver lining each time and continues. Another benefit of finding something to appreciate each day is that it'll help you avoid living a boring and dull life. You will not be bored by the redundancy of your days, but will find each of them to be unique and exciting. Expect the unexpected. One of the many challenging situations that Santiago has to go through is when he gets robbed upon his arrival in Tangier. The misfortune takes a toll on his spirits. He loses hope, but it is at his worst that he also learns an important lesson. He learns that he set out with hope in his eyes and forgot to consider that things can go wrong during his journey, and he must not always be too trusting of people or circumstances. Instead, he should prepare himself for the worst. He remnants over his situation and says, "I'm like everyone else. I see the world in terms of what I would like to see happen, not what does." Interestingly, this line has a dual meaning. One is to stop expecting things to always go your way. The other is to think outside the box. By expecting the unexpected, one can discover new ways. This particular way of thinking has always been the way how scientists have made new inventions, and when we adopt the same outlook, we will definitely make incredible progress. Never stop learning. Before you go on your journey of self-discovery, you must keep this one lesson in mind. It will be highly essential to your journey, and our wise shepherd is proof of that. Throughout the novel, Santiago learns precious lessons from tons of people. He has mentors of all kinds. The old king, the fortune teller, the robbers, the alchemist. All these people teach him the way of life. He even learned things from his sheep and inanimate objects like crystals and the desert. According to him, the desert seemed old and wise. These lessons helped him in finding his treasure. Likewise, it would help if you too kept an open mind at all times, because you never know what valuable wisdom you might come across. Stay in the present. This one stood out from Santiago's list of lessons during his journey from different people, scholar and common man alike. He gains this particular wisdom from a camel rider during his travels with the cavern through the desert. The camel rider has encountered his fair share of tragedy. Back in Mecca, he enjoyed a good life, but the flood wasted away his land, and as a result, he had to take up camel riding. However, instead of lamenting his past, he continues to march forward and give his life a new meaning. He says that he doesn't live in either his past or his future. Instead, he is interested only in the present. If you can concentrate on the present, then you'll be a happy person. These simple words from an ordinary man hold the key to unlocking happiness in life. A true partner will always support you. During his journey, Santiago seems to be stuck when he has to choose between staying with the love of his life, Fatima, or going to Egypt. He fears that pursuing one would lead to the loss of the other, which he is not ready to deal with. When he can't decide, his dear old friend, the English alchemist, offers some advice. He says that a true lover never stops their partner from pursuing their personal legend. And if following your passion does lead to breaking up with the love of your life, then you must stomach the sad reality that it was never true love to begin with. Through these words, the Alchemist has essentially provided all readers with a filter test, one that can help you in finding your life partner. If someone proves to be an obstacle in your journey, they are not worth the effort and you are better off without them. Make the decision. A lot of times, we will find ourselves confused, unable to make a decision. We feel stuck. Now, we can either stay like that or decide to do something about it. Throughout the novel, poor old Santiago has landed numerous times in situations where he has no way out, like choosing between his partner and his dream. However, our protagonist does not wallow. Instead, he seeks advice and gears up to solve the situation. He takes fate into his own hands by making a decision. Deciding on how you will tackle a situation may seem like a small step, but the truth is, it has effects more significant than you can imagine. The novel beautifully presents this message in the following words. When someone makes a decision, he is diving into a strong current that will carry him to places he had never dreamed of when he first made the decision. Act. Now, you're not supposed to stop at the decision-making step. You are supposed to follow through on these decisions. Why is this important? Well, it is through our actions that we learn life's most grueling lessons. We can read books all day long, but if we are not implementing those teachings in our everyday lives, we might as well be doing nothing. The Alchemist enlightens Santiago about the importance of actions when he grows impatient and asks the Alchemist why he is not keeping his promise of teaching him things. The Alchemist replies the shepherd has learned all he had to learn through his journey. Santiago expected long, boring sermons. However, the Alchemist proved to be wiser than him as he managed to teach him everything through practical application. With this approach, he will never forget those crucial lessons. Forget fear. Now, taking steps to act and pursue your passion is never easy. You are bound to go through some problems and anxiety. However, it would help if you didn't let this fear stop you. Do you think Santiago would have found the treasure if he gave in to his fears at any point? He had enough reason. Getting robbed, beaten up by thieves, the threat of losing his lover, the danger of all of his struggles going to waste. These are valid fears that can make anyone want to give up on their dreams. However, Santiago did no such thing. Why not? Because he realized that fear is the greatest obstacle. The fear of suffering itself is more painful than the actual suffering. The only way to let go of this fear is to remember that you are putting up with these hurdles for the sake of reaching your destiny. Hence, every pain is worth it. Never give up. We are ending our list with the most powerful lesson the book has to offer. The statement, never give up, has gotten old, but these 3 words have not yet lost their importance. During your journey, success is not always guaranteed, and you will encounter many failures. However, it is only after you have picked yourself up from these failures that you find the strength to reach your destination. Paulo sums it up beautifully by asking readers that if they fall 7 times, they should make an effort to get up 8 times. Who knows, the 8th time might be the lucky charm that gets them to hit the jackpot. And that's a wrap. In the end, Santiago does find his treasure back at the church where he initially started. However, one can argue that the real treasure was the lessons he learned along the way. The fact that Paulo could write such a rich and compelling story in a short period is no less than impressive. Through Santiago's struggle of finding his personal legend, I have learned lessons that have indeed turned life around for me. The book opens your eyes to the fantastic view on life and allows readers to pursue something greater than themselves. What about you? What effect did the book have on you? Do let me know in the comments. If you made it to the end, give the video a thumbs up and share it with your friends who you think should read the book. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.